everyone? It's November 28th, 2018. This is MMA Marks. I'm Ricky.
Buddy.
And here we go. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It's been a while since we got together. We had a holiday weekend. How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, mine was pretty good. I actually had two separate ones. One I went over to my cousin's house. I actually seen you there.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Not your house, but it's mutual cousin.
That's right.
And shout out to Crystal.
Yeah.
And then I went over to my sister's house the next day or the day after or whatever.
How was that?
It was good. Both of them was good.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite was the green bean casserole in both of them.
Oh yeah, you like the green beans.
Yeah.
I gotta have me some pineapple and ham, man. I love that shit.
Yeah, that is good.
That's myself. And I was running, man.
Yeah, but you already know, though, just to go back on the pineapple and ham, nobody can make it like my father.
Yeah, man, I missed that. That and rockfish, man.
I ain't really had his rockfish.
Oh, my God. You missed out. Yeah, so with me, I wound up, a couple good things happened and one bad thing happened out of the three places that I went. Start with the bad news, My daughter, she got knocked over by a couple dogs and fell into an aerator. If you don't know what an aerator is, it looks like a bunch of spikes that put holes in your grass to aerate them. And she got punctured by them, all in her legs and her butt. It was bad, man. Cleaning wounds out, but she's good now,
So no hospital visit?
No hospital visit, no stitches, but they were pretty deep cuts.
When this happened to the first house you went to for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, the very first house we went to, man. It was the very first thing that happened on Thanksgiving once we got out of the house. And then we went over to Crystal's and we had a nice dinner there. Actually got to say the prayer. Look, man, our family doesn't say too many prayers at dinner, so to be asked to do it, I was pretty honored.
And who had to make a joke right before?
Oh, of course you did.
I hit him with the home or no. I gave him the Halo song.
Yeah.
It just felt like a little too much of like a ritual to me.
Yeah. Keep it real.
I got a joke when I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then at night we took the kids over to a couple friends' house from church, and we went outside and had a nice bonfire and had made some s'mores. And if you guys don't remember, in Baltimore it was really cold and a little windy, so it wound up blowing some of the embers from the fire into a tree. And there was a squirrel's nest in the tree, and it caught the squirrel's nest on fire. Mm. Oh, man, it was crazy. And we're running around acting like Three Stooges trying to put water on this fire. This fire's like 20 feet in the air in a tree. We used a hose. The hose was frozen, of course. Then we tried to get squirt guns and squirt it. That didn't work. So finally we actually had to call the fire department, bring them in, and knock it out.
Was any squirrels hurt?
None came out of the tree.
It was for dinner tomorrow after leftovers.
Yeah, so that was Thanksgiving. It was pretty good. Glad you had a nice one. Got your green bean casserole going.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never been big on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy.
Well, you're a big guy, so I figured Thanksgiving be your go-to.
It's really not my favorite type of foods.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm not big on football either, so.
Yeah, I've lost all interest in football.
I don't really care about the parade. Like, everything about Thanksgiving is like, cool. Get the day off. I get to eat a little extra.
Yeah. I do like going over family and having everybody together, though.
Yeah. But that's not always the case.
Yeah. So, I guess you want to go over what happened last episode real quick? Talked about the knockouts.
Yeah. So our last episode we talked about our favorite knockouts and everything, and I had posted, or we had posted, however you want to look at it, we posted a post, and anyway, it had a picture and everything. It said, "Who's your favorite knockout? Well, what's your favorite knockout of all time?" And we had a little bit of people, participate and everything. We had our boy Matt. He had said Hendo was his favorite knockout of all time.
That was a good one, man. Revenge is
he mentioned
so sweet.
How Bisming had talked about Hendo's wife and everything, and it just made it that much sweeter.
Yeah.
And then my boy Mikey, shout out to Mikey. He was saying that his favorite knockout. He said he was thinking about it all day. He didn't want. I guess he didn't want to choose one that was like, not too impressive. But he said it has to be Aldo getting knocked out by McGregor.
Well, fuck you, Mikey.
And then our cousin Kevin, and
he had a list, didn't he?
Well, yeah, and Kevin has his own podcast, and it's a really good podcast.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to Kevin.
You like gaming, you gotta check his out.
It's the Backlog Exposed podcast. It's definitely it's a good listen. And he actually said his overall favorite was Ngannou knocking out Alistair. But he had plenty of like honorable mentions and everything, but his favorite was definitely Ngannou uppercutting him.
It's amazing how Alistair comes back from that loss, those 2 losses, and then to do what he did on Saturday.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And it's pretty quick too. I mean, gets his head taken off by Ngannou, gets elbowed crazy.
Well, did you see what he was saying?
What'd he say?
He was saying that he changed up camps, changed up his training.
Yeah, he's actually working with Curtis Blades now, isn't he?
Yeah, and he said, he's learning again. You know what I mean? Before he wasn't. He was kind of stagnant or whatever. Is pretty much what he was saying.
Yeah.
Now he feels like he's back to learning new skills or improving on his old skills.
I think it's Team Elevation. Is that what he's with?
I really don't know, but I mean the fact that he's training with Curtis Blades. Now think about this: Curtis Blades, when he fought Alistair, he ground pounded, elbowed the fuck out of him.
He needed 60 stitches.
I mean, it was terrible. And then how did Alistair win this time?
Ground and pound.
Ground and pound, and it was devastating.
It was
loud shots. So obviously, Blades taught him how to ground and pound.
I know. How do you make that phone call if you're Alistair, man? Like, hey, Curtis, how you doing, man? Can I come train with you? You really put a beating on me.
Yeah, I gotta learn that.
That's a humble man to go up to the guy that knocked you out and say, hey, I want to learn from you.
Yeah.
Especially being an older guy. He's 38 now?
Well, he's not that old, but at the same time he has a lot of experience for his age.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of fights. It was so. Just to move on to since we already talked about Overeem and
speaking of fights, let's go down that card, that Beijing card.
Yeah.
Crazy time. I didn't watch it. Went live. I'll tell you that. I wasn't getting up that early.
But I mean, so Ngannou versus Curtis Blades. We know how that went.
I was wrong. Way wrong.
I think everybody was doubting Francis. How could you not? He was doubting himself in this last fight. He wouldn't even throw a punch.
Yeah.
And he said that he carried on, and this is the fight before this fight. He carried on fears from his fight beforehand, but he's a new man. He's back to his old ways.
That's what he says. Yeah, he's back to his old ways until he finds somebody with, wrestling skills and boxing skills to match his own or best him in any way.
Well, Curtis Blades' wrestling skills, he could have.
Well, he didn't even get a chance to. I mean, as soon as.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, to test your skill, that's what a lot of people were even saying. It's kind of disappointing because we didn't get to see him go into, heavy water. Or what's the saying?
Deep water.
Can't go to deep water.
Yeah.
And but hey, as some people were saying, it was a quick or early stoppage.
I really thought that too. I really did until I looked again at the replay, and this was like my fourth time looking at it.
It was after I left, even.
Yeah, after you left, I looked back at it because I was still on the fence. Because if for those that don't know, these are two heavyweight fighters, really big, and Francis Ngannou has gotten unbelievable power in his punches, like sickening power. Um, and Curtis Blades is he's a big heavyweight too, and the fight only lasted what, maybe 45 seconds, 50 seconds.
It wasn't long.
It wasn't long. It was within a round, and Ngannou clips him with a big left hook or a right hook. I think it's a right hook, but it was near the back of the head, and then Curtis Blades falls down on the ground, and he falls flat on his face, hands and knees, and then falls flat on his face. So you're thinking that he's out, but then he gets right back up and starts looking for Francis, and he doesn't see him, and he's still like trying to find his bearings, and then he's still like there, and then Francis hits him again, and he starts going down again, but he gets back up. So you're like, he's trying to find it, and then all of a sudden he comes and gets hit again, and then the ref comes in and stops it. So it was like.
So what's your final decision? Was it an early stoppage or a good stoppage?
It was a good stoppage. It was a good stoppage for the safety of the fighter because Curtis Blades didn't know where he was. If you looked closely at his eyes and his face, he was out. He was out on his feet, and it was a credit to the ref that made the smart decision and saved the fighter from any more damage.
Yeah. So my little points about this stoppage. For one, I remember when we were watching it and we watched it replay a few times, I was saying when he spun around, Curtis Blades, when he spun around after he got up, it just looked like he was just, flailing around trying to make it look like he wasn't as badly hurt as he was.
Yeah.
Every fighter will do that.
Yeah, he knew he was in trouble.
And so when there's a debate of whether it was a bad early stoppage or late stoppage, but usually, so if it's a debate of whether it's early or not, I would say I go to this. Had the ref not stopped it, more than likely would the person who lost came back.
That's a big debate, man.
I believe in that situation, all that would have happened is he would have just kept getting punished.
Yeah, but then we're speculating. And that's why we leave it under the referee's discretion.
No. I'm saying based off of the actions of the people, of how they were looking.
Well, case in point is the fight with Czech Congo and Pat Barry. I mean, Pat Barry knocks Congo on his ass, and it looks like Congo is out. And then Congo's wobbly, backs up into the cage, hits Pat Barry with a mean right hook. And then Pat Barry goes out, and Chuck Congo wins. I mean, I think had that same situation happened today, that ref would have stepped in before Chuck Congo had the opportunity to make a comeback. Fights are crazy, man. You don't know.
That's a definition of a bad stoppage. It didn't stop when it needed to.
Well, true, but I mean, he came back and won that fight.
Yeah, but even from my standpoint of it's a fight, these guys are entertainers too, and so if these fights keep getting let, like that fight with Chicago and Pat Barry, if the fighters kept being able to just keep coming back from being knocked out like that, more like there would be a death like in the ring pretty quickly. There would be a lot more fighters with very, very bad health issues.
I wouldn't say that it would be a death in the ring, but the fight careers would definitely be shortened.
Well, there's a reason why Mario Yamasaki.
Oh, calling names.
I'm just saying, there's a reason why Dana doesn't want him reffing anymore.
Well, I mean, because he's almost gotten people killed.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. He just wants everybody to be a warrior.
Well, Mark Gotter's going to take his place. That's your favorite ref, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a little bit aggressive. Maybe I don't like him too much.
Oh, come on. Tell us how you really feel, bud. That's your man.
I don't understand. A lot of people give him all this respect.
He's the most respected ref in the game.
Everybody talks about how good of a referee he is. I don't like him at all. I don't like the way his attitude is towards the fighters. He gets too aggressive with the fighters, and like he's literally said, "This is my ring.
This is my ring."
It's not like that. You're there to just make sure, and if he doesn't listen to you, you don't have to show your dominance. If he doesn't listen to you, take the fucking point away. That's your dominance. You don't fucking sit there and get mouthy with a fighter. I'm waiting for the day that he gets mouthy with the wrong motherfucker and he gets his ass dropped.
That would be so great.
Well, McGregor actually already smacked him.
When?
When he jumped the cage in Bellator.
Did he?
McGregor slapped him right in his fucking face. It wasn't that big of a slap, really, but
You were excited.
But I already hated him before that.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't like his attitude, the way he acts in the ring.
I got to check that out now. I didn't know he was reffing on that.
So, yeah, I mean.
So Curtis Blades gets knocked out within a round. Overeem beats out a newcomer, up-and-comer, Pavlovich. We had a quick upset with the ladies. A 5-0 fighter, Miss Mueller, got beat by, I'm going to butcher her name, but her last name would be Wu.
Woo!
Yeah. Now, after watching the fight, I will say that Mueller was whipping her ass until the end. She snuck in an armbar, took her out.
I mean, I didn't watch the fight intently, but when I was watching, it seemed like they were both very. Their intentions were not good for both of them were really going for the kill.
Yeah, they were. That fight was not going to the distance. They both knew that wasn't going to the distance.
Just to jump back, because there's so with Overeem winning and Ngannou winning,
you're right.
A lot of people are talking about that rematch.
I don't want to see that rematch.
Well, I don't think Ngannou exactly wants it, but he said he wouldn't mind it. He's trying to call out damn, what's his name? All I can think of is Hot Balls right now. Hey, I love Derek Lewis. That's because
all I can think about is his hot balls.
No, because I've seen him on like interviews with Alistair. He's just like, I don't understand his humor. Hot balls? Like, why does he have hot balls? Like, it's because he was trying to fight his ass off. His balls got hot.
Yeah, I'd like to see that fight more than I'd like to see a Ngannou rematch because it didn't end well with Alistair getting his head almost taken clean off with Ngannou. So he's never fought Derek Lewis. I'd much rather see that fight than him try and get back a loss. Give me something new. And Derek Lewis is ranked higher too.
Yeah, and I think Alistair's mindset going into this. Oh, I seen what DC could do. My new skill set, what I'm trying to show off, is my ground and pound also. So maybe he's like, hey, if Derek Lewis can do it, I mean, not Derek Lewis. DC. If DC can do that to Derek, I probably can too.
Well, DC, Daniel Cormier, now he's double champ. He can do that. And
he's the Khabib Nurmagomedov, whatever, of the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
And he trains with Khabib too.
Yeah. Yeah. DC, much respect.
I think DC is a better fighter than Khabib.
I would go along with that. He's got way better stand-up.
Yeah. And I think Khabib's overrated.
Really?
100%.
What? Oh, you got to explain. You got to explain that one. Why is Khabib overrated? Because I actually like Khabib.
Khabib's good and everything, but look at his resume. I'm big on resumes in the fight world. Like I said, DC, look at all the fighters he's fought.
Yeah.
Very, very high competition.
Of course. He wouldn't have it any other way.
And I would argue that DC, Daniel Cormier's resume is more impressive than John Jones.
I would.
John Jones, yes, he beats DC, but DC has beat the higher competition.
Yeah, I can see that. I actually agree with you on that one. DC, I think I think DC is one of the, if not the best fighter in the game today, right now. I mean, you can't argue with it.
Yeah.
So with him,
But just to go back, because because we were talking about DC, but we were originally talking about Khabib. Now,
yeah, I want to know why you think Khabib is overrated.
Khabib's level of competition on all his wins, it's really not that impressive. If he fights Tony Ferguson and starches him, or just grinds him out and whips his ass really bad, I'm like, that's the real deal.
So him grinding out McGregor like that.
He ain't really grind out McGregor like that. And McGregor seemed like he just McGregor didn't fight even like McGregor, dude.
No, McGregor fought scared. It looked like
It just wasn't the same. And I'm definitely far from a McGregor dick rider, but
yeah, I'm way.
I'm just saying, like, it's not really it's not a bad matchup for Khabib anyway to begin with. Even if he was Conor, same old Conor that everybody's used to seeing.
No, I think Khabib beats him every time.
Well, I don't know about that.
Come on, dude. Khabib would whip his ass every single time.
I think he could use footwork and catch him at a good angle and drop him.
No, because he pressures you, and if you pressure Khabib, he's going to take you down. He's going to take you down every time.
Yeah.
But so Khabib's overrated. So,
in my opinion, I guess not in yours.
No, not in mine at all. He's got super superior wrestling. He wrestles better than anybody I've ever seen. The way he laces a leg, laces both your legs, puts you up against the fence. Nobody else does that. He smashes the hell out of you. Granted, it's not as exciting as these knockout artists and these strikers, but he gets the job done better than any lightweight.
Thank God for Khabib's father. Because that's his game plan.
Yeah, and who's the other guy that Zabit? What's his
Zabit? What about him?
He has the same style, but a little bit more flashy in the striking area. When he gets people on the ground, he does the same thing with the legs, pushes them up against the fence, and knocks their head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with Zabit, he's cool and everything, but I don't know, man. I'd like to see a rematch with him and that dude, Kyle. I can't remember Kyle's last name, but it was like a last-minute replacement. I think it might have been Yair or whatever, but last-minute replacement. And they went at it, you remember?
Yeah.
And at the very last part of the last round, who was winning? Not Zabit?
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
And if it would have went longer, I think he would have lost.
I do too. So can't wait till they make that Yair versus Zabit fight. That has to happen, just like Ferguson and Khabib. Those two fights have to happen.
I'm kind of over that fight, honestly.
What, Ferguson and Khabib?
No. Yair versus
Zabit?
Zabit.
Why?
I just feel like, for one, Yair is ducking him. And it's just like, I mean, I guess after that win just now, but I feel like there's not much hype.
No, it's a slow build up. I think what they should do is like maybe one or two more fights.
Yeah, I don't know. Same thing with, since we're talking about upcoming fights with UFC. Same thing goes with talking about Anderson Silva versus Israel Adesanya.
I like that fight. I don't exactly appreciate the what they're doing to Anderson.
Did you see why Anderson said he took the fight?
No.
He said he took the fight because Dana came and talked to him and he said to Dana, "Why would I take this fight? It's a danger opponent. It means nothing to me." Dana said, "Well, if you win, you got a title shot." He said, "Now the fight makes sense." So basically,
if Anderson wins, he gets to fight Robert Whittaker
or
Jacare.
No, Robert Whittaker's fighting for the title
against whom? Yeah, now I don't even remember.
I know who it is. I just can't think of his name. It's
What's he look like?
Kelvin Gastelum.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they're the Ultimate Fighter people, right?
Yeah, they're coaches. I'll go out on a limb and say I got Kelvin winning.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Kelvin's gonna win.
I'm gonna say Robert Whitaker's gonna win on that one. I like his wrestling better.
But Anderson Silva, he's been calling out everybody. If you haven't noticed,
Well,
he jumped on the McGregor thing when somebody even half mentioned. I think McGregor was the first one to mention it. He was begging McGregor. He's like, "Let's do this fight."
oh yeah, that's money. That's all that was money pocket.
And then
he would beat the shit out of McGregor.
I seen something where he was kind of baiting GSP, trying to see if he will fight him.
That's like Pacquiao and fucking Floyd. That's way past prime, and I wouldn't want to see that. That's worse than what we got on Saturday with.
Well, yeah. Speaking of way past prime,
Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. I don't know, man. We got to cover that. I know we got to talk about it.
Let's talk about that right now.
Why not?
Since we brought it up.
Why not?
So, they originally said Black Friday sale, $20.
These motherfuckers piss me off something fierce.
Yeah.
The day of during Black Friday, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get this fight.
Psych.
Wrong. Due to contractual obligation, we cannot offer this sale. Fuck you for even advertising it, you motherfucking bastards.
Because all that they probably knew they weren't gonna give us the fight for 20.
No, it was just promotion hype, you bastards.
And it just people like us were like, we're already committed, we'll just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to me, from the very beginning, you might remember, I said this feels very weird. The whole look of everything, the production value or the production, everything. It just seemed, the camera angles, the sound of it, the look of it, even the people in the arena, just they were cutting and showing mad seats not being filled.
That was very weird. So for those that don't understand what we're talking about right now, the Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, these are two older fighters that are way past their prime. Chuck Liddell being 49 years old and Tito Ortiz being 43. They had a fight and UFC wouldn't take them, so they went to Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Productions, which is a boxing promotion, and they put it on. This is their first MMA event. Well, they did one small one, I think, somewhere, but it wasn't televised or on pay-per-view. But this boxing thing, I'm on the fence with it. I give it like a C- on the production value, and you could just really tell that they weren't into MMA.
You really gave it a C-?
Yeah, I give it a C-.
I would still rewatch it, but I give it a fucking negative F 30, 20. You know what I mean? I can't even think, like negative 100,000.
So hold on.
I feel like they didn't put any effort whatsoever.
No, they really didn't.
I'm not mad at the fighters. I'm talking about the company.
Right.
The fighters, they went out there and did their thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I liked about this promotion is, one, it was a little bit different, where it was one fight that you were looking forward to. One fight. You didn't know anybody else on the card.
But we actually ended up knowing a few of them.
Yeah, but a little bit.
But
yeah.
we didn't know about that they were going to be in there.
Right. But the thing that I do like about it is that with not knowing the competitors, you don't have a real emotional attachment to them, to each fighter. So, like, if it's a no-name fighter and a no-name fighter and they're going at it, I can enjoy the sport of the fight a little bit more than with an emotional attachment to one fighter and another.
That's where we differ.
Oh, bring it on, son. Bring it on.
So if I don't know either fighter, I find a reason to like one of the fighters, and then I'll vote for him the whole fight. Even if it's like something as small as like that guy's got a big dumb head. I hope he gets his head kicked in. So I'll vote for him to lose the whole fight. I gotta find a reason to root for somebody.
Oh my god! You can't just enjoy
No.
the technical ability of two athletes.
I'll tell you this, and this is kind of like, this is as close as I get to enjoy, like what you're saying, just enjoying the fight of it. So if I originally am voting for a certain fighter and I don't know either one of them, and he's completely getting his ass whipped, I'll just jump on the other team.
Oh my god!
I'm like, yeah, whoop his ass. Whoop his ass. Whoops. Oh no, I want you to whoop his ass now. I'll just jump on whoever's doing better. Bandwagon, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But so I give it a C- for that for the production, the camera angles and cutting to an empty arena was not cool. They need to do something better about that. The camera angles were different, and the way they set up the card was different. So creativity and everything, I'd rewatch it, but I wouldn't. It's not something to phone home about. They really need to improve. You could really see the lack of passion with De La Hoya, and just he wasn't even at the press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I don't know, man.
No, he was at the one calling him Lydell.
Oh my god, that was so bad. Get your names right, dude.
So the most recent UFC Unfiltered podcast I listened to.
Right.
Did you get a chance or not yet? So anyway, Dana White had called in. Do you know how much he went on a rant about this fight?
I heard that he went on a rant. I thought it was on Twitter or social media or something like that. And I did see Tito Ortiz's response to it.
He called him he was calling Oscar De La Hoya a cokehead junkie over and over again.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, and he's like shame on the people that gave Chuck Liddell a license, but he saw it, one of his close friends, or you know what I mean? He saw him get knocked out really
right,
bad.
Because Dana White used to manage Chuck Liddell before he was the CEO of UFC.
He's like, I hope the same people that let Chuck fight, let Oscar fight again, and I hope he gets knocked out even worse.
Yeah. Well, for those that didn't see the fight that are listening, Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell fought. Tito Ortiz beat him very handedly. Chuck Liddell looked like a shell of his former self, completely dominated. I mean,
just to add on, Chuck beat Tito twice already, way back when.
Yeah, he beat him way back when, like 20 years ago.
They fought twice before. Both times Chuck won. It's been 8 years since they fought.
In Tito's defense, if you can't beat them, wait until they're old.
wait until Father Time catches up with him.
That's right. And you could really see that Tito could see every punch coming, and he just dominated him. He barely tagged him. And Chuck looked like an old man.
Chuck looked like an old man. He moved like an old man. And their first real exchange of punches, he dropped them and won. And Tito celebrated as if he knocked out the world champion of like he knocked out John Jones. It's like, dude, you just whipped an old man's ass that, and you're acting like you beat somebody in their prime.
I mean, can you really be mad at Tito for that? I mean, the man beat him twice.
I'll put it to you this way. He's the bully. I mean, he's the nerd in school. Years later, now they're outside of school. Tito's the cop, and he finally gets a chance to hassle his high school bully, arresting him for some bullshit.
Right. I get that.
And then he would go, and then him celebrating about it is like the cop going on Facebook telling everybody from his high school, "Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit. I locked him up tonight." Like, how are you gonna celebrate after you whooped his ass and he just looked terrible? So it wasn't that Tito looked so good. I'm not saying Tito's good.
Tito is good,
but it wasn't like it wasn't. The win wasn't because Tito was so good. The win was because Chuck was so bad.
Now there's 5 years difference between the two, so it's not like it's not like a really young guy. It's not like Tito's in his 20s destroying an old man.
But one of them has been taking care of themselves a lot better.
And whose fault is that? I mean,
but I'm just like, But the fact that it's
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
The fact that it's such a different level means you do not celebrate as much as you did. And the officials or whatever, whoever they were weird because they were trying to stop him from celebrating. You remember?
Yeah.
And earlier in the night, the one guy was slapping the guy that was about to fight just to pump up his friend or whatever, or his training partner. And the officials were trying to say, you can't do that. Like, I guess you can't in their production, but why not?
It was so weird. It was. They like as soon as Tito did his like shovel and
they were all over him.
Yeah.
And he just kept going. He's like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I still like Tito. I just think that the whole celebration was a little overboard.
Yeah. I mean,
like, you didn't do nothing that great, bro.
No, you did. It's hard to say that because in his mind, he just beat the guy that whipped his ass twice.
Yeah, he finally beat this bully up.
Yeah, it's like he's finally conquering his arch nemesis or whatever. And then, I mean, granted, it's laughable, and I don't mean to take anything away from Chuck because Chuck is one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen. I mean, but he has to know when to hang him up. And he's just one of those fighters that says he's going to fight forever. And it after a while, man, it just looks sad. It was just sad.
I think that he can do a lot more outside of actually fighting.
What do you mean outside of fighting?
Outside of actually going in the ring and fighting?
Oh yeah, you mean training guys?
He could even do like, helping Golden Boy on a different level. Like, since he's a name and everything, he could be promoting newer guys.
Chuck's not much of a promoter.
No, like
I wouldn't go out on a limb and say he's a promoter.
When I say that, I mean he could be like saying, "Hey, this is my boy," meaning this is one of my. I give my stamp of approval. He's going to be the next champ of Golden Boy, or if they are even going to have championships. You know what I mean? And then he could like do like video. I'm just saying he could do other stuff.
Right.
He's got everybody likes him.
Yeah, he's a very easily marketable person.
No one wants to see him fight again.
Nobody.
No one.
Nobody. And I can't see any athletic commission in their right mind giving him a license. I really can't. And if they do, shame on them because you're doing him a disservice by letting him fight again.
Someone sounds like Dana.
Is that how Dana was talking?
He said shame on them for giving him a license.
Well, I mean, look, you can see the body of work, like based on like Chuck started really declining after Rashad Evans knocked him out. After that, Chuck should have hung him up right then and there, but he kept fighting, and it just needs to stop. He needs to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And he just can't. He doesn't have the chin anymore, and he walks like an old man. He's not as quick. You could see that he has his hands lower. His overhand right. I mean, the tells are really, really bad. I mean, when he goes to jab, he drops his right hand when he jabs. I mean, and that's how Tito was able to see everything coming. So it was like Tito was fighting normal speed and Chuck was fighting in slow motion.
He was super stiff. He just didn't look good.
No, not even a little bit. Sorry to see Chuck go out like that. You don't want to see a great end his career in that way.
Iceman.
Yeah. Tough sell. So moving forward, we checked out One Championship, man.
Oh my God! Let me just say, I love One Championship.
You love One Championship.
I'm definitely gonna watch the next one.
Yeah, I don't like the timestamp, man. I wish they recorded the whole thing and then you could watch it or stream it whenever you want.
Yeah, well, I watched it live at work. I mean, I did miss a few little things when.
Lucky you get to watch it at work.
Well, I don't know exactly if I was supposed to, but hey, it was on when I'm at work Friday morning.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I think I even texted you a few things about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was very good. The production for that is amazing.
Yes, the production value is way up there.
They have entrances for every fighter, kind of like
WWE style, man.
yeah, but it's not overdone.
No,
It doesn't take forever for them to get to the ring. The announcer's cool. He's got that like old school like.
He's from Australia, I think, or New Zealand.
No. I'm talking about the guy that announces him to the ring. He kind of sounds like the Pride dude.
Yeah, he does.
He gets all excited, and yeah, I mean the actual commentary for the fights was very well done. I guess the guy might be Australian. I couldn't really tell. I remember we discussed that.
Yeah.
But they were able to explain different things, like the one thing I really like about One Championship is it isn't strictly MMA. Sometimes two guys that fought MMA, the last fight might want to fight just a kickboxing match. They might want to fight just Muay Thai.
But that's not decided like on the fly. That's promoted.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but they have different. You don't have to have the same rule set every time you fight.
Right. So it's MMA, kickboxing, and did they do any other style of fighting?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Okay, yeah.
There might be more that they use, but I just can't remember right now. But I mean, and they can have like little separate rules for a fight because they had a kickboxing match, or no, was it? I don't know, but they had a match and they were like, but this is with small gloves. They decided to just change up one or two rules. So not every fight is going to be the same. And it's like from fight to fight. So this fight could be a kickboxing match. The next fight after is MMA.
Right.
It's like you just get a little bit of variety. And I think that's very cool. And like everything about it was cool, like very cool to me. I think definitely if you ain't checked it out, yeah, you guys definitely should check out One Championship. There's an app.
I agree. I like it. And then to go back to where I was saying, I don't know all the fighters, so I can enjoy the actual sport of it without getting too emotionally invested in it. So with that being said, now they don't have a lot of smack talking in one. It's just these are the fighters, and here we go.
Well, okay, so that might be true, might not be. It's just starting to get a little bit more noticed in the United States, I believe.
Yeah, but over on that side of the world, they don't.
That side of the world, they're not gonna have McGregor shit talking, but they might be having more shit talking that we just didn't see.
I don't think it goes like that. I think their culture is different.
It's possible, but they're getting more people, and
they
wouldn't appeal to the crowds over there as much as it would over here.
Right.
And I agree. And it might be lacking that in my opinion, but really it shines so much on the other sides that I didn't mind the no drama.
Yeah.
The drama's in the action.
So you're under the belief that drama sells the fight and that you're all about the drama.
So I wouldn't say that in particular, but in general,
okay,
even the crowds that say they don't like it, when you're emotionally invested in a certain fighter, or say these people over there that don't like the shit talking, somebody comes over there and starts talking shit, especially about like all the Philippines or something, and they're in the Philippine arena like they were, and somebody came in there and started talking shit, they're gonna want their hometown hero to whip his ass bad. So that makes that fight more exciting.
Right.
So regardless, even the people that say they don't like all that nonsense talking shit.
No, but I believe there's a fine line you have to walk with that, because if it all becomes about talking shit, then you lose the sport value of it. And you got to decide which side of the fence you're going to be on. Is it entertainment or is it a sport? Which side are you on? And it sounds like you're more on the entertainment side.
I wouldn't watch it if it wasn't entertaining to me.
Well, all sports, well, I can't say all sports, but most sports have some type of entertainment value to them, but it's how far you walk that line, because you still got to say that this is a game, that this isn't. The thing that I don't like about the entertainment value is that a man that works his ass off and fights up through the ranks will suddenly get surpassed by a shit talker.
Okay, so that's an issue that UFC is dealing with, and I believe that they are kind of starting to stray away from that. You know,
Well, hold on. You can't say that because, like you just said with Anderson Silva and Israel Adesanya, uh, the only reason that Anderson took this fight is if he beats the shit talker, the up and coming shit talker, that he gets a title shot. So he jumps the line over Jacare.
no. So that's also skill based.
No,
You
no.
don't think Israel Adesanya, the way he's been taking out these high level guys,
Oh, I agree. I agree, but he's not super ranked. What is he? Sixth on the line?
that's up there, dude.
Yeah, but it's not. But the thing is that he would jump Jacare. That's what pisses me
I
off.
don't think he will.
You just told me that he would get his title shot.
He would get a title shot. That doesn't mean he's next. I never said that. Dana said he's next in line, and Dana lies.
Oh yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
so that might be a lie. That might be, hey Anderson, you get a title shot, and then all of a sudden, hey, you know what? Things didn't work out the way we thought. We need you to fight this person to see out of between you and him who's going to be the contender.
Yeah.
But I believe Jacare does get a title shot, especially the way he finished Weidman.
I'm rooting for that guy, man. I wanted him to get his title shot ever since Strikeforce. I mean, he's got a couple, but man, I want to see him be a champion.
I wish we would have seen him versus David Branch.
You think that would be
that was the original fight?
Yeah, I know, but you think that would have been a better fight than Weidman?
I just was looking forward to that fight. I literally had no reason to say that other than I wish I would have seen that fight.
Yeah.
I think it would have been an interesting fight. I think, for one, I think Branch would have been a lot more cautious.
Yeah, he would have.
He would have. It just would have went a little differently.
It would have went
different pace, different.
But I like the whole let's bite down on our mouthpieces and just take shot for shot.
Yeah, but to get back into one championship because we kind of drifted off.
Okay.
Back at it. Brandon Vera, he used to fight in UFC.
Yeah, he actually trained in Maryland too. He trained it on Lloyd Arvin.
We always liked him. I remember me and Ricky would talk like, oh yeah, there's Brandon Vera. Well, he is a superstar over there and won championship.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, they were talking about how he went on a 2-year layoff or what you want to call it, and he made a movie over there and everything. Like they love him over there, and he came in. The guy he fought, kind of just ran at him, thought he was going to run right through him, and he ran right into Rivera's. I think it was a left.
Straight left.
It just dropped his ass. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, like I said, he's a superstar over there. They love him, and he's loving life over there. But overall,
so now let me get your take on this real quick. So Brandon Vera in the UFC, he wasn't a top guy. He was a low level guy or a lower level guy. He's like maybe top 10, like 9 or 8, I'd say. And then he goes over to one. He's the number one star over there. Does that say that Brandon Vera's game increased that much, or that the competition over there is just not up to the caliber of the UFC?
I think it's a little bit of both. And I'll go as far as to say, other than like DC, the best heavyweights are in Bellator right now.
Like who?
I'm just saying they got all kinds of they got Fedor.
Okay, Fedor is arguably the best heavyweight ever, period. And they got Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader's light heavyweight that, is fighting heavyweight. You put me on the spot and just kind of threw me off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to make a claim that Bellator has the best heavyweights, you better have somebody to back it up with, man.
Well, I mean, you
can't just throw Fedor out there. I mean, Fedor.
That's the first person who came to mind. I really can't think of.
Okay, so I mean, they got
right now.
So you like Matt Mitrione?
Yeah. I loved him when he was in the UFC.
And what Chael Sonnen?
Roy Nelson, Big Country.
Yeah.
Come on now. He was one of my favorite knockouts. Actually, I didn't mention him. but I love his knockouts.
On whom?
First of all, you gotta love any fighter that has a mullet, a big beard, and a big belly. Just knocking motherfuckers out.
A little envious, are we?
Envious? No. I support him. I mean, other than the mullet, I love the guy. The mullet just makes him extra white trash.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does give that trailer park vibe.
There's some other heavyweights in Bellator. I just, like I said, sometimes I draw a blank.
Yeah, so I like to put you on a spot and call you out on it.
But, so one championship is more of a pure sport.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Buddy in every way on this. I really enjoyed one championship. The only problem that I have with them is the times, because over there in Singapore or Beijing or wherever they fight in Asia, they fight at night, and over here it's morning time. So I'm not waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday on my day off to Friday. Excuse me. Well, yeah, even worse.
Yeah, you're working.
Yeah, I'll be working. I can't watch it. So I just want a streaming option. That if they do a streaming option, I'm watching. Watching religiously.
But you got the pure sport versus, what would you call that?
Oh, over here?
No, like you said, you like the pure sport. What do I like?
Oh, you like smack talking and trash talking crap.
Okay, well, I would say it's more or less. So pure sport.
Pure sport is two guys you have no idea about going in there and competing against one another.
Kind of like old school, right?
Yes, using their martial arts. Using their martial arts, letting their actions speak.
Respect,
yes.
So it's basically like if these were porn.
Oh my God.
Okay.
We're making this analogy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if these were porn, you're saying that you prefer the old school 70s bullshit storyline, shitty acting, nice big bushes.
Nice big bush. Wow, no, that is not what I'm saying at all.
Sorry, I had to just go off the wall on that one.
I can't believe the correlation you get from porn to.
No, I just want to say you're boring and like weirdly old school about it. Like, hey, it's a new world, it's a new age, dude. Like, I think I make a good point when even the people that don't like the shit talking, if there's a reason to be emotionally invested, it makes the fight better.
I can see that. I can see your point. I don't necessarily agree with it. But
you like pure sport.
I do.
But you were very excited for Aldo versus McGregor.
I was very excited.
You wanted Aldo to beat his ass so bad for.
Oh my God! Yes.
Talking shit, taking the belt from him.
Yeah.
Like literally snatching the belt at the press conference.
Yeah, he was a dick.
And you were like, I can't wait for him to whip his ass.
I can't wait to get on here.
Mr. Pure Sport, huh?
Yeah.
Mr. Pure Sport.
Yeah.
But you loved it when McGregor, when you thought your boys were going to kick McGregor's ass for talking all that shit.
I did like it. I like I said, I see your point. I don't necessarily agree with it because when Aldo lost, I was also not devastated, but I was upset. I was really upset. Like, legitimately, wow, man, I'm actually upset. I didn't like feeling that way. I didn't.
But that's like the art of it.
Yeah.
That's art. As long as it makes you feel something.
Yeah, I guess. I guess I want to see the action actually engulf me.
Yeah, you want a reason.
I want a reason to fight when it's standalone fight.
Like you want to know like the storyline behind it.
No. Like
the pizza delivery drive. I heard you had ordered extra sausage on this pizza.
Is that a porn reference?
It sounds like a typical old school thing. I'm just saying, you just seem a little old school about this.
Well,
when did you become 90 years old?
It's not 90 years old, man. It's just I believe that the sport is better because when you go back and watch, you're not going to watch the storyline again. You're going to watch the fight. You're not going to watch all that led up to it.
I don't know. I might. Like me, I would.
You would go back and watch all the press conferences that McGregor did just to watch the 13-second knockout of Jose Aldo? I don't think so. I think
that might be the reason that draws me to go watch it again, though. Like maybe say my nephew, like one of my nephews, right? They start watching him fighting, and then they watch a McGregor fight or something, and they hear, like, they're just watching older fights, right? They hear, like, yeah, well, McGregor was talking all this smack, so maybe it will draw him to go look at all the other smack talks.
Yeah, but the initial entertainment would be the fight. It wouldn't be the smack talk.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was gonna say. Like, the smack talk literally is pointless, and
I wouldn't say it's pointless.
Let me finish. It's pointless or almost like a negative, the exact opposite of what it would be if the person does not back it up or give 100% or better.
Right. It does make a person look even more stupid if they don't deliver on the promises they make.
Easy example, McGregor and Khabib.
Right.
He was talking very big and he did very little.
Yeah.
There's other examples, but that's just the most obvious and easy to point out. But then you got him when he was talking, saying, I'm going to knock out Aldo right away. He did it. So that made everybody love him.
Yeah. Yeah, now, when you do talk smack, though, it's not for just to sell a fight. It's to get into the other opponent's head. It's a mental warfare.
Sometimes.
When has it not been? Can you ever think of a time that has not been mental warfare? That somebody was just trying to sell a fight? I can't think of a time.
Like, well, I mean, I thought you were going a different. I thought you were saying something else, but when you reset it, I understood you differently.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's a reason that people talk shit. I get that, but I mean, I wish MMA was a little more like, I guess, football in the fact that we get invested in our team or we get invested in our fighters, and we get invested because they perform well, not that they talk shit well.
I would start watching football if like, say, the Baltimore Ravens or whatever, if they just all of a sudden start saying, like, yeah, well, you know what? We might lose today, but we're going to fuck them up. And he just started doing all these, like, late hits and shit. Fucking grabbing them by the helmet and throwing them to the ground and shit. I'm like, hell yeah, that's my fucking team.
Street NFL blitz style.
But, I mean, if and, like, just to touch on football and stuff.
Which you know nothing about.
No, I'm saying just to touch on why I don't like it. It's like, I heard Joe Rogan say it. You talk about, hey, this quarterback's better than this quarterback, and, and the stats are almost the same. Like, how are you going to figure out who the better person is? It's who can kick whose ass. That's what it boils down to. Like, even if the stats are kind of close, you're like, well, you know what? That guy can kick that guy's ass. You just won.
Yeah, I mean, if you break it down into its rawest form.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Raw.
So, just to jump topic real quick, what do you think about Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone?
I think it's a very interesting fight. It's so weird because 1 minute it's on, 1 minute it's not, 1 minute it's back. No one knows if they're actually going to do it or not. I think that that's a secondary fight. I think what happened was they told Cowboy that that's a possibility. And then McGregor's holding out, waiting for something better.
Who's better?
I don't know what McGregor has in mind. I'm saying that.
No, but let's be honest. Let's be honest here now. McGregor, since he lost with the Khabib thing, his stock has dropped a little bit, if not a lot of it. I mean,
well, no, his stock or his
stock dropped. It had to. He's not going to make nearly the same amount of money that he did for the Khabib fight that he did for his next fight. I mean, he's coming off of what? How many losses? I know that it's not in the same sport, but a loss is a loss. I mean, he lost against Floyd. Granted, he did way better than anyone expected him to, but he still lost. And then he lost against Diaz. Granted, he came back and won that fight, but he still lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't keep, like you said just a little bit ago, you can't keep smack talking and not back it up. So when you don't back it up, your stock drops. So therefore, you can't take a super big name. And I think that Cowboy Cerrone is in the middle of a big name and a lower name. So it's not super top echelon fighter, but it's right below that. That's where McGregor needs to be. And if McGregor beats Cerrone, then he can go back up. And if he loses against Cerrone, that boosts this Cerrone up. And McGregor doesn't fall too much further. It's not like he lost against a no-name fighter.
Yeah, but like, okay, so a bigger fight, which not like I necessarily want to see it, a third match with Diaz.
I would not want to see that fucking fight. I really don't. And I like Diaz a lot, but I don't want to see that.
Ferguson.
Yeah, but that's a championship fight. You got to win fights to get up to a championship fight.
What if Khabib never fights in the UFC again? And he was already talking about retirement. He's taught me, and then they talked about, they said, oh, it's a sure thing. He's going to fight Tony. But now all of a sudden I keep seeing things like a boxing match with Floyd would be way more interesting for me.
So, no, it'd be way more money for him.
This is what I'm saying, what I'm reading.
Right.
But what I'm basically saying is he's been talking about retiring for a while now. He's keeping his record, or trying to.
Now, I will say this, and I firmly believe this. You can fight me on it if you want, but you're not a real champ until you defend your belt. And McGregor is not a real.
Shout out to Matt Serra.
I guess that's what Matt Serra says.
No, he never defended his title.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, you're not a real champ until you defend your belt. And McGregor's not a real champ because, yes, he won 2 championships in 2 divisions, but he's never defended them, either one of them.
He's beat championship level people.
That doesn't mean shit.
No, it does.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, because it doesn't make him a real champ until you defend your belt.
So that's not like a huge. It's not like a huge.
Well, the reason
it's not a big deal that he beat Aldo when he was on nothing but a tear, and actually ever since then he's been doing great, other than Max Holloway.
Well,
and he didn't look terrible against Max Holloway. He did, but he didn't. You know what I mean?
He
didn't get dropped in 3 seconds.
Wow, fuck you.
I'm just saying, it just shows that McGregor beat Aldo pretty.
He beat Aldo because Aldo was beaten mentally. He was very angry and came charging at him. If Aldo was not mentally beaten, I think that fight would have went very, very differently.
But what I'm trying to say is he's beating these guys that are very, very high level.
Yes, and then when he gets the belt, he doesn't want to defend it. He wants to go off and do other shit, go to the next weight class. He wants to get the belt. He doesn't want to defend it. So in my eyes, he's not a real fucking champ. Now, DC, on the other hand, has went over, beat 2 guys in different weight classes, got the belt, and defended both of the belts.
Actually, let's talk about DC, okay? Lately, I've been riding DC.
Even though he ragdolled your boy?
Yeah, but let's talk about DC, okay?
Okay, let's talk about DC.
So he's the exact opposite of what you're saying right now. You don't even realize it right now.
What do you mean?
So you're saying, oh, you're not a real champ until you defend it. Well, hey, I think it's a bigger deal when you're not a real champ if you didn't beat the champ to get it.
I agree.
So they handed him the championship and he defended it, but he didn't beat nobody for it.
No.
He lost. He got knocked out and then he got handed a championship.
He got knocked out, and then it was found that the champion was on some PEDs, so he got suspended, given given that he's the only he lost that fight due to PEDs. So what are you going to do?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, it's a bigger deal. You're less of a champ if you don't beat the champ to become the champ.
Gotta beat the man to be the man.
I think beating the champion, or even somebody that was a champion for a long time, is a way bigger deal than getting somebody handing you a championship and then defending it.
Oh, if you hand anybody a championship, it doesn't mean as much. I understand that.
Yeah, so like the news championship technically doesn't matter.
That lightweight.
Tony Ferguson doesn't have a championship, but his was more legit.
Yeah, because he's never been beaten.
He was interim.
He was interim.
And then they stripped Conor.
Yeah, because Conor didn't fucking defend his title.
They stripped Conor, so technically the interim holder who beat somebody for that interim title.
Right.
He should have been champion. But they were like, nah, we're going to put on this fight. Go ahead and fight the random ranked 11.
Right. That's why talking smack ruins fucking the sport.
Okay.
It does, because the only reason Conor got that fucking fight is because he talks smack and sells millions of dollars. And granted, you need that money to support everyone, but the sport of it just sucks.
So obviously, I think it's worse when you get handed championships.
Yeah.
But so you think it's worse when you get a championship and don't defend it? So in my opinion, between the two, Khabib and McGregor.
Yeah.
McGregor's more of a legit champ than Khabib was.
If Khabib never defends the title, yes, I would agree with you on that.
That was technically him defending that title.
No.
Because he won it against Al Iaquinta. He won the title against Al Iaquinta and then defended it against McGregor. But Al Iaquinta was ranked 11 and he won a title.
That was a bullshit. That's it.
Exactly. It's worse than McGregor not defending.
I don't know about worse. I say it's about the same. I'll give you that it's about the same, but it's not worse. It's not worse. Because McGregor had 2 years to defend that title, and he did nothing.
All right, so everybody listening, go on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Let us know which is worst. Which is worse?
Is not defending a title worse, or beating an opponent for a championship?
No, not beating the champ and then getting the championship, or beating a champ and receiving championship title and then never defending. Which is worse? I think everybody will agree with me.
Yeah. And please leave your comments on our Facebook page or Instagram at MMA_Marks.
Yeah. And
yeah. With that being aside, what other upcoming fights we got?
Well, so the fights that we're watching this weekend, the main event, I don't know any of the other fights, but Friday we got RDA. That's Rafael dos Anjos, or Rafael, depending on however you pronounce it.
Well, if you're from Brazil, every R is an H.
And then, so he's a Brazilian fighter, and he was fighting, I think at he was fighting at 155 for a while there, and he was a champ for a while. He's very good. He's all around fighter pretty much. He's just an intense fighter.
Yeah.
And he moved up to 170, and he's been doing pretty good. You know, winning some, losing some. He's coming off a loss against Colby Covington, and he didn't look good at all in that fight. But he's going to be fighting Kamaru Usman,
who's been on a tear.
Yeah, and even the champion at 170 himself said, that's a younger version of myself. So Tyron Woodley literally said, Usman is a younger version of myself.
That's scary.
So he's like, wrestler. Super
explosive.
Strong, very powerful punches, and he's a wrestler, ground and pound and stuff. And I think it's going to be a very interesting match, but I'm going to say, for me, I expect Usman to win.
You do?
Stopping him. He's going to win by stoppage.
Yeah.
But that's the main event of...
the Tough Enough finale.
Not Tough Enough. Tough.
Oh, the Ultimate Fighter. I always say that.
Tough Enough is WWE.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, we're going to have JDS, Junior Dos Santos. He's a Brazilian guy. They're heavyweights, and he's a very, very good boxer, striking. You know, he's got ground, but he's just a very good boxer mainly. He's knocked out Cain Velasquez on the very first Fox card ever. He main evented and knocked Cain Velasquez out very quickly.
Super inconsistent.
Yeah, he's super inconsistent, but he's a fun guy. I like him. I'm a fan. And he's fighting Tai
Tuivasa.
Yeah, Tai Tuivasa. And he's from New Zealand or Australia?
New Zealand.
I never know the difference. But he's a big chubby boy.
Yeah.
And he's super fun.
Big Samoan guy.
Yeah, and like after his fights or during it or before the fights, I don't even know. He just does it all the time. I see him.
Ugh.
He calls it. I guess everybody does it already. They call it shoey, where you spit in the shoe, you pour beer in it, and then drink it. And it's not always, it's not your spit. It could be somebody else's spit
and somebody else's shoe.
Yeah, it's weird. First of all, I would never want to wear that shoe again. Just because as soon as your foot sweats, it's gonna just smell like stale beer.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's a bad combination, but it's entertaining.
Yeah,
it's fun. This is going to be a fun fight. The same card we got Mark Hunt, badass.
Yeah, power punching
son of a bitch. He can take a shot. He can give a hell of a shot. He has many walk-off knockouts.
Yes.
I'm surprised we didn't mention any of his knockouts for, greatest of all time.
Because they're walk-offs, you're just dropping people and just walking away.
Yeah, he's fighting, guy's last name's Willis. I can't remember his first name.
Isn't it Justin?
It's something like that. I think that's DC's boy, like one of his boys. Like, he's cool with him.
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
I've seen him in a banger. I can't remember the other guy's name. I think it was Sean something or something Sean.
Like I said, I never heard of him. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be an interesting fight.
And
I'll go with my boy Hunt though because I like Hunt. And then another notable fight for that card.
The Masters division.
The Masters.
Yeah, Master division. A guy past his prime fighting.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised Shogun's fighting already because he just got knocked out.
I don't agree with this at all. This is just like Chuck and Tito shit. He needs to stop.
Well, I mean, he's actually pretty young, Shogun. He just seems old because he started at a young age.
Yeah, I guess. But, I mean, he's been on a steep decline. Yeah.
He hasn't done well since he lost the title to Jones.
Now, what do you think about this? Should an athletic commission or the promoter come into a fighter and tell them that they have to retire?
No.
Why? Because a fighter's not going to give up.
It shouldn't. It should be the team around them.
Yeah, but you can't. That's like coming to your cash cow and saying, "Hey,
then you need better people around you," because there's plenty of times where coaches tell their fighters, I think it's time to hang up the gloves.
Yeah, I don't know.
UFC does that a lot of times. Like they'll cut you after 3 bad losses. That used to be a thing. 3 losses, you're out. They don't really do that anymore. But if you're on a bad decline like Shogun, they're probably letting him run his contract out. That's probably why he took this fight quickly.
Yeah.
But he's fighting Tyson Pedro. I believe that's Tai Tuivasa's boy. Like they train together, and that I don't. See
I hope it's a similar style. I've never seen him.
Shogun.
Yeah. Mauricio Shogun Hua.
That's just crazy. To me, that's like a quick turnaround for getting knocked out.
I thought
Anthony Smith freaking elbowed the shit out of him.
Destroyed him.
And I mean, I don't know. It's like, that's kind of quick.
Yeah.
Might not be. It just feels quick. Yeah. I mean, it's just, those fights are going to be really good this weekend. I can't wait. And like I said, I keep reminding you guys, but like, if you haven't already started following us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, and I'm definitely going to be posting our
fight picks.
Our fight picks. We're posting our fight picks, and if you send in yours, and I'll send you like a blank copy if you want, but you can get your own. And you send us yours, and we'll post everybody's fight picks, and we'll see who won the most fights.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens. We'll get enough people to participate. Who knows? There might be some prizes involved, and yeah.
Yeah, we're just looking to have fun. I mean, me, Ricky, and usually it's a couple other random people anyway. And this is before we started the podcast. We always had a little like game going. Like, well, we'll bet $1 on a fight. We've been betting.
But he loses every time. He loses every time.
Hey, a lot of times I bet with my heart.
That's why you got an empty wallet.
I bet with my heart, not smart.
Yeah. So after this weekend, man, we got the big fight that I'm really looking forward to. I can't wait to see it. Max Holloway and Mr. Ortega.
All right, so I'm pretty sure last episode I had said, you know what, I'm going to go out on a limb and say T-City. I said I got him winning.
Come aboard the bandwagon.
But I'm going to go back and say Max.
Oh, get the fuck off my wagon now.
All right, look, I'm going with Max Holloway. Just his attitude does seem a little different. Or, he's ready for this fight.
He better be.
Now, when it gets closer to the fight, if he seems off again,
they're not going to let him fight.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, even if he does slip by, but I notice his eyes wandering down or something. He looks like he's stroking out or whatever. Then I'll say, okay, I'll go with T-City. That's the only way I'm going to go with T-City is if Holloway doesn't look 100.
So you're saying that 100% Max Holloway will beat a T-City at 90%?
I'm saying that if Max Holloway is not permanently damaged and all weird, then he's going to beat him.
Yeah, well, I don't see that happening. I hope that T-City takes him down and chokes him out.
Yeah.
That's what I hope happens.
I hope it. I mean, I got to stay in standing pretty long.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do too, because T-City likes to take some damage.
Well, I mean, and he doesn't like to take damage, but his striking's pretty good. I mean, he knocked out Edgar.
He took Edgar off his feet, but I don't think Edgar was fully prepared for that fight.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, his striking's not terrible.
Right.
And, same card. We got Valentina versus Joanna.
Yeah, but Valentina Shojenkiv and Joanna Jojenchek.
Are they both Polish?
Yes.
Yeah, they're hard names. These are two women fighters, and they're very, very high skilled fighters.
Now they both fought each other before.
Yeah, in
kickboxing.
Yeah. And I could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure I heard Valentina won.
Valentina lost to Joanna in an amateur kickboxing match.
I thought they fought like 3-4 times, dude.
Oh, maybe.
And I think Valentina won most of the times, but Joanna doesn't want to. She's like weird. She's got a weird mentality, and she doesn't want to admit when she loses. Like, she says that she's still a better fighter, and
yeah, when she lost to Rose Namajunas,
she's still saying that. She's saying she's the queen, and she's kind of weird.
Delusional.
She's very cringe. Like, she makes me cringe just seeing the way she acts.
Yeah, but do you think she's a better fighter than Valentina?
Not at all.
Neither do I. I think Valentina fucking destroys her.
Valentina is scary.
She's a monster.
She's scary.
Didn't she dances after she wins?
Yeah, but Joanna, she's quick. She's technical. Valentina has that extra edge of I want blood.
Yes.
Joanna,
it's like a small rage inside of her.
Yeah, Joanna, she's got skills. She's got athletic, but she just doesn't have that fighter spirit. Or she does, but she doesn't, and not as much as Valentina.
Right.
And then we got another notable fight in that card, Gunnar Nelson.
Does he? Is it? Excuse me. Is this his comeback fight?
I think he's been injured because he keeps not fighting when.
Yeah, it's like he's been scheduled to fight 2 other times and hasn't made good.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really a big Gunnar Nelson fan.
And then I'm not a big Gunnar Nelson fan either, but
He's known as submission, gets a lot of submissions. He's just not really my favorite.
So I'm looking forward to his opponent though, who is Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, and you know who that is, right?
Who is that?
Or is that the other guy?
They call him the Brazilian Cowboy.
Yeah, and who did he just fight? I don't. It's all good.
Names are.
I remember him looking very good on his last fight.
Yeah, he even fights like Donald Cerrone a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but that's going to be a good fight too. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my ass is getting a little numb here. I'm getting a little tired. I think we're coming to the end of that 5th round.
Oh yeah. Let's get out of here, man. What do you think?
Yeah. Just a last little note. I've said it a few times. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook and any other social media. Follow us on all the podcast apps you guys listen to. Anchor,
Spotify, iTunes, you name it, we're on it.
Yeah, and it's MMA Marks. And if it's on Instagram or Twitter, at MMA_Marks.
Well, I'm Ricky.
I'm Buddy.
And we're out of here.